Hi, Aries. So I just wanted to let you know I started your reading and I was getting a message about you completely just leaving something, completely walking away from something. I'm not quite sure what it was about because I hadn't finished it yet, so we're going to go ahead and see. Um, this can apply to any placement in Aries that you have, okay? So if you have Aries in the third house, it could apply to that location. Aries, what is going on with Aries? We have the Ten of Voices. I feel like you're exhausted with something. There's something that you seem to be exhausted by. Aries. The Fool, yeah, this is definitely a similar message. There's something about how you're just saying, you know what, I'm going to continue forward anyways. And this is the way it's going to be. The ladder symbolizes to me a small part of something that you could return to, but for the most part, you're leaving it behind because there seems to be more stress. Like you have a feeling that in some way there's too much of something or it's overthought or somehow it's just been overwhelming. Like you're just like, no, this is too much, I'm leaving. So this is the same message that I was getting. Completely walking away. Aries. The Knight of Emotions in reverse. So there's something that you're turning away from or turning down. This could be that like somehow there is just a no, or it's clear to you that something is just meant to be like progressing forward without whatever this is. It does feel like stress in some way. Like well, something I'm hearing is no, don't go there, don't go there. It's too heavy or it's too like just no, don't go there. Aries. Three of Voices. You feel like you feel targeted somehow by this, like not targeted, but you're just like, oh, are you kidding me? Yeah, Page of Voices. I got this in the last one too. So both of those says to me that there's a no in some way. I'm not quite sure yet if you're saying no to someone or you're refusing something. Or if it's not a no, it's like something has yet to be addressed or spoken about. This is lack of communication or very indirect, kind of like whirlwind is what I'm hearing. Communication. Because I notice there's something spiraling above her head. And there's also a spiral here. I don't know why I noticed that right now, but there's something about the communication that's just spirally. And you're kind of like, okay, I've had enough of this. Aries. Yeah, I feel like you go back to check and you feel like you're just floating in air. Like not really, but I mean it feels like you're just in this place where you're like, okay, I've gone back to check. There's nothing there. It's empty. So now it just seems like you're really embracing your Fool energy because you're you're like, well, this is what I'm doing. It is exactly as it is. And so I'm just going ahead and It feels like you're out in the open somehow. Kind of. You're also saying, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. There's something about the people that are showing up in the picture. It seems like your involvement with like other people leads you to a place that actually helps you to revisit what's going on. But for the most part, there's something just spiraling, and it seems like you're in a spiral and you're still walking away from it. I would say this has to do with a path moving forward. Page of Emotions in reverse. You're just not sure how you feel about something. Aries. What is this about for Aries? The Hierophant. This has to do with like regulation. This has to do with the system. This has to do with the order, following protocol. And so I notice how she's like exposed kind of, but at the same time she's not. Well, yeah, it's like when you're sitting there kind of like, come on, like sitting there in this kind of state, like, well, this is where I'm going. Someone's like, how many times do I have to say something? The Two of Materials. Things are just taking its time right now is what it seems like. Yeah, things are taking their time. You're trying to balance more than once, and it feels like it still gets rejected for a certain reason. I do feel like with the Page of Emotions, yeah, like there's a consistent no on something. Like something keeps, it's a communication of some kind that you're waiting on. I don't know that you're waiting on it. You're just like, that's a no, that's no, that's no. Page of Emotions. There's another doorway that you go to check. I feel like you're going to check a doorway of some kind, and you're like not feeling very comfortable about it. You're not feeling very like emotionally supported about it. I feel like this is how you feel. You're just like, really? And then you might even be sitting there like waiting. You're testing something. So right now, like if you imagine yourself walking, or whoever this is walking as the Fool, there's something very like, what was that? Okay, we're still good. There's something very like you're in the open type of thing. You're in the open, and this whirlwind that's going on around you, there's something shining in a different direction. You're sick of it, I feel. Three of Inspiration, yeah, and the Sun. So those are really positive cards. There's something on its way. You're even kind of trying to have fun with whatever this is. And then we have the sun. And I noticed the girl at the bottom who's doing this meditation. She's in a meditation pose. She has like a flower on her head is representing a flower of some kind or pollen. I would say it's a flower. And then I notice what's in her what's on her stomach. It looks like an intuitive light. I feel like there's something else that is very small that's drawing out some inspiration. Or there is something small that's just lighting up the situation. You're trying something and you're trying it again, and then you start to do this thing where you're like, I'm going to knock this over, like metaphorically speaking. You're like, I'm just going to do this here, see what happens here. So it is fun. It's just challenging. The Lovers in reverse. See what you can find here. See what you can find here. The Lovers in reverse. Aries. The Two of Voices in reverse. There's something like about the sand on your arms. I'm not sure what that has to do with. Something about the hands. The answer, it's like you go back and check and you know the answer is somewhere. And it's has to do with the system of the future, and it has to do with like what you are managing and what you're trying. And it feels like in some way like there's several different things that are saying like this is over. And then there's the sun. So what continues for Aries regarding this situation? The Emperor, you're still coming out as being in charge. You're still coming out holding something together. So it's very playful, but it's like when you accept what you can't change. There's meditation in this reading. It's like you're trying to get into this meditative state and you're looking for answers. You still have some, with the Sun and the Emperor, you're showing up as a very powerful person. This also could be as well a very powerful person who says, let's try something and see. Either way, it's showing up in a very positive way, and you are still maintaining your sense of, I don't want to say power, but more like your place. Someone's saying, go back and look again. There's several little doors that are kind of peeking underneath and around that you may not have noticed. And you may be the one doing this. It seems kind of like a harsh energy, but you're still making it through. It's like under or around the corner. It's something yet to be revealed. So with that said, Aries, thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful, and I will talk to you hopefully again soon.